But these were their utensils. This is what the slaves used. And I guess they cut it like this because they wanted to use it like a bowl. Eat food, drink soup, whatever. If they wanted to use it as a cut, probably they might have cut it that way. Right? So this is the calabash. So you can do a number of things with them. And this is what the slaves used. As a matter of fact, they're still used certain parts of the world.
They said in Antigua they still use it for
Drinking?
utensils.
Yeah, they still use them in, well, right, you see, they still use certain parts of the world as utensils. But the most interesting thing I came across recently was that I saw an article in one of our papers some time ago. They said that in Nigeria, they recently passed a law where all cyclists must wear helmets. And they're actually using the calabash as a helmet. Because they said the professional helmets are so expensive that they use the calabash as a helmet. Because the longer it stays on the tree, the bigger it gets.
They'll get that big, huh?
As a matter of fact, just about 2 or 3 weeks ago, standing here talking about the same thing. And when I mentioned that about a helmet, there was a lady just in front of me said, well, she's now seeing what the calabash looks like. Because she was in Nigeria, and she heard about these things, and they're using the calabash as a helmet, but she had never really seen them on the trees or anything like that until she got here. But she did hear about using the calabash as a helmet. So that's the calabash. You've heard of broadleaf pine? And what they do with this is that they will take this, you will chop it up, put it, mix it with all your other herbs, and season your meat or your fish. Okay? Thyme, yeah. Broadleaf thyme. Just go up. That is, what?
I think it's tea.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Just go up a little higher.
Just like it.
Look across there, you'll see a palm with a red stalk. See that red palm in there?
Yes.
I don't know if you've ever seen anything like that before, have you?
No, not in Canada. Maybe in the grocery store.
Giant arrows are the big things growing out of the water here. Go down here now and assemble in the bottom down there, and I'll join you there in a moment. So you're familiar with it?
Yes.
You know it's also called the dumb cane. You've ever heard of that?
Donkey?
Dumb, D-U-M-B-C-A-N-E. Dumb cane.
No.
You've never heard of the dumb cane?
No.
But you've heard of the Dieffenbachia?
Yes. We have them in our homes.
You've heard of the dumb cane. So you know why it's called the dumb cane?
I do.
Oh, good. It's called the dumb cane because if you should chew on this plant, and it is right there, that plant yonder, you will get a burning sensation at the back of your tongue. And unless you get urgent medical attention, it can be fatal. Because what will happen is that your tongue will begin to swell. And you know what will happen eventually? You can't talk, you can't breathe, and you would no longer be with us. You will be somewhere else. If you look on the sign there, partly it's hidden at the moment, but on the hair, you will see written across the bottom of the sign, you see it there?
Dumb cane.
Dumb cane. Now, lots of people have got it in their homes as house plants. But you've got to be very careful not to let little children bite on it or animals. If your pets or your children bite on it, get them to the doctor as quickly as possible. So it's called a Dieffenbachia or dumb. Now quickly before we leave this area, there are a number of different types of palms. I've mentioned the sealing wax palm, which is the red one over yonder. The one at the very far end is called a spindle palm. You've got golden palms here. You've got a Chinese fan palm, which is this one here. You've got a number of slim palms like this one here that are called Christmas palms. You've got a Sheila palm in the back, and you've got a hybrid date palm over there as we go down the steps. So we'll go here down the steps, across that way, assemble on the other patch of grass out there.
The berries on there.
How do you manage to maintain the mosquito control? There's no biting.
No, you've got a couple of mosquitoes around the place, but and in most cases they might bother you at night or something like that. Have any of you ever heard of something called noni juice?
Yes.
Huh? You've heard of noni juice?
Generally from Hawaii.
Yeah, but you know what the fruit looks like? No. You see that little fruit on that tree? See those little fruit in the tree on there? See them there? That's the noni fruit. That's the noni fruit there. So just go down around here, assemble on the grass at the other end. This thing that's growing across there, are you all familiar with this? That's one of the names, so. It's called the snake plant, the Zanzibaria, or the mother-in-law's tongue. You ever heard of something called mother-in-law's tongue? Oh, yes. And for the longest time I've been trying to find out, of all the people, why the only one you can associate something like this with is the mother-in-law.
Can't kill it.
Now, behind me is a huge palm. Have you ever seen a palm like that?
No.
Never seen a palm like that? Now that's called a talipot palm, and the history on that palm should live for about 60 years. It will bloom once and die. But from that bloom you get thousands of seeds. Where you can get other palms, but that one is dead. And in certain parts of the world they use the branches from those as thatch roofs. You've heard of thatch roofs? Now another interesting little guy is the one here, but I'm going to ask you not to hug him. Don't lean on him or anything of the sort. And if you look above your head, you'll see that all on the branches are covered with those things.
Oh my goodness.
This fellow is called the macaw palm. You want hugging like how you want to hug this one, like how you hugging that one? They said years ago they would actually take those from there and use them as toothpicks. Really? Yeah. It's called the macaw palm. Very strange looking guy. Another interesting little fellow is the one there. That fellow there is called the bottle palm. And the bamboo that you are familiar with, if you look across in the distance over there, you see the bamboo out there now? That's the bamboo that you're familiar with over there. Okay, from here you go through here, across this little bridge, and up the steps on the other side. You take the green skin off, you got a gel inside. But I have seen in health food shops aloe vera juice and aloe vera capsules. And what some people do too is that they will take the aloe, you take the green skin off, you know it has like a gel on the inside. You drop that in the blender with some juice and you make it drink. Yeah. And it helps to clean your system. And if you take too much of it, it'll clean your system in too, because it'll send you to the bathroom fairly often. Now you've got something called the desert rose. The one you're seeing here and the one on the other side, desert rose. On the shed there, you've got lots of different types of cactus. You see them all on there. And by the way, what you were smelling not long ago is actually called the garlic vine. Yeah, it's called the garlic vine. Behind you, you've got something called the angel's trumpet. You see it behind here? Now, all these here that look as though they're yellow will eventually turn like this one in here. You see this one there? They will, all of those that looks yellow will eventually turn like that. Now, it's called the angel's trumpet, and it's actually a poisonous flower. Yeah. It's one of those flowers that they say will give you a high. You know, people smoke this thing to get a high, marijuana, blah, 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 blah. That's a certain thing. And if you put too much in your system, it will actually kill you. Yeah. So because of its name, they said should it get into your system, you will hear the angels singing. And you know when you hear angels singing, you are no longer with us. You are somewhere else. Now, other types of croton, because we've been talking quite a bit about croton. The yellow ones at the back there, that's a type of croton. So too, the yellow and green, that fine green and yellow one there, that too is a type of croton. Okay, we are going up this way. Along here on our left, you've got something called a shrimp. You ever heard of a shrimp plant?
No, you're talking about that.
The brown one here, along here is called the shrimp. And along here, you've got the blue plumbago. See this little blue fella here? That's the blue plumbago. Above our heads now, you've got a banyan tree. You know, I mentioned to you banyan trees where we were on the bus. Now, if you look, you will see what they refer to as aerial roots. You see the fine things growing down from there?
Yeah, with Tarzan swings.
Aerial root, so that's the banyan tree. Banyan trees are trees that you should keep far from your homes because the roots can be very dangerous. They could either break up the walls and your foundation and whatever, or block up your sewage. They've got a tendency to search for water.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you plant one of these too close to your homes, it is possible that one day you could go to your bathroom. And when you flush, you realize that nothing is going down. Look hard enough, might see a root coming up. So that's the banyan tree. Keep them far from your homes. Okay, that's about it for our short garden.